Hey everybody, Kevin here, and here's a little something for your performance edge. It's time. Time for what, Kev? It's time to dump the old stories. Been doing a lot of coaching in the last week or so, and just encountering a lot of sideways energy happening within a lot of the sessions from just these storylines that we can't seem to get out of. Now, I do think there is a type of escape velocity that we have to generate when it comes to dumping old stories or getting rid of or breaking out of old stories. Sometimes it's in those kinds of stories that we feel like have negatively defined us. We don't ever really think about what we're going to need to do to break out of that so those things develop us. See, it's really about reframing here. It's really about resetting the mindset around the idea that, yes, this thing happened in my life. This thing was a defining moment. This impacts the way I think or the way I behave or the way I process certain things in certain situations. But it does not have to define me. It should develop me. This needs to be something that we look at, that we pull out, and that escape velocity I'm talking about comes through the actions we take from the backside of development. In other words, development is really about that whole idea of understanding. It's really that whole idea of education. And then obviously then the application of what you've learned. It's like, hey, there are some things I need to do. Maybe, just maybe, some portion of that escape velocity lives in maybe a circle of people I need to put around me that we talk through, not what happened in the past, but some of the growth initiatives that we're taking heading into the future. Maybe it's that idea of saying, hey, I need to be more intentional, but it's like intention never really escapes the idea stage, right? Intention never really goes beyond the idea that, man, I need to do this, but then there's no sense of real structure that produces an outcome because I not just set the intention, but I activated it and I got into the world of uncertainty on the other side, that escape velocity to get on the other side where the adventure lives in development. And that's the part I really want to shake the tree on with you, everybody. Because I do think that that all the opportunities for growth in your life lives on the other side of the things that we want to avoid thinking about or dealing with. Isn't that novel, right? It does come down to the idea that, hey, look, yes, as much as these were defining moments, they don't define me, they develop me. And then now it's the whole thing. What do I need to do with that? Where is the point of application? And then ultimately, like we talked about in previous videos, the idea of leverage. Where is the leverage piece of it? The leverage piece of it is in how you then share that outside of the experience of taking that level of action. In other words, that level of action is going to create a result. That level of result will create a story. That level of story is a new story that you get to tell. Leverage. Pull that sucker. That is where you then move forward and let it become a development moment to where it says, like, look, this is where I'm going. This is who I'm becoming. This is the new level of presence that I'm living in. And it's not, it's not like a thing that is like a painful experience. Like a lot of times you go like, I'm better today because of all the pain. It doesn't have to be that way because of the past. It can just be, the pain can be the good kind of pain from like going to the gym and lifting weights or getting in, running that, race or putting those miles in, or, the time and energy and the focus on advancing something that we need to work on and grow in our lives. What does that look like for you? Are you just hindered by the stories of the past? Because I'm bumping into a whole lot of people who are being triggered, whatever, if it's social media or whatever, but being like sucked into the vortex of backwards, and they're giving way more energy to that rather than focusing on what's going forwards and putting the energy properly in that arena, getting the escape velocity to dump the old stories and start telling and writing new ones. What does that look like for you? Put that out there, get into the under the hood. I think this is a great thing to journal through that will then equal something. I think take a page, cut it in half, write on this side of the page, whatever the paragraph is of the story, and then do an equal sign, and then put this side of development. Defining moment, they're defining moments. They defined a whole lot for us. And then development. What do I need to do? What intention do I need to set? What date do I need to start activating it? And then, hey, how do I let that tell a new story through the adventure that lives on that side? Think about that. Do that. And those are huge invisibles there. So, like I said, hey, all the time and every time, when you see the invisible, you become unstoppable. So do some damage out there, everybody. Have a great week.